Most people are trying to change their lifestyle results with actions while their identity is subconsciously pulling them back to who they used to be. Your reality will never outperform your self-image, but when you rewire your beliefs, standards, and identity, reality has no choice but to catch up. Let me show you how to build a mindset so powerful that your life starts obeying it. And to do this, you only need 3 mindset structures to change your life permanently. And those 3 structures are identity, beliefs, and conditioning. And in this video, we're going to talk about all 3 structures individually so that you can understand what I'm actually talking about here. So let's start it off with the first one, identity. Building an identity is the first thing you need to do because without a proper identity, you're never going to be able to reach your goals. Identity is the foundation of what makes you successful. And as humans, we act in alignment with who we believe that we actually are. And the reality is that most people just have bad habits. So they end up being in a place that they don't want to be at in life. And without building up your identity first, you're never going to be able to sustain your dream lifestyle that you want to live. And an easy example of this is, say a bum wins the lottery. Yeah, he's got a lot of money at the time because of luck, but like how long can he sustain that money? Most lottery winners go broke at some point in the first couple of years, and that's because they have no discipline and they were never meant to acquire all that money in the first place. The thing is, they got lucky, so at some point in time, reality is going to kick them back to earth, and they're going to have to fall back on their habits, which they have none to fall back on. Just like, for example, say a guy suddenly gains a bunch of clout, a bunch of fame, money, which he's never had before. Nobody knew who he was before, and now that he's got a little bit of fame, a little bit of clout, the ladies start seeing who he is. He starts to date a bunch of girls that show interest. And the problem with this, and we've seen it many times, is that guy probably had no prior dating experience. He probably had no experience with women at all before that because he was a nobody. He doesn't understand the game, and he doesn't have the right identity built up to maintain these women over a long period of time. And all that it's going to do to him is it's going to mess him over in the end because, yeah, he gets them up front, but he only got them because of the sudden fame and clout. He hasn't really put in the hours, he hasn't put in the years of experience of dating to learn the game and learn how these women actually operate. He thinks he's gonna go in there blindly and cheat the system, and it's just not how it works. Reality is always gonna come back, and it'll always knock you back to earth. And at some point in time, the women are gonna understand that, hey, this guy's not really who we thought he was, and not really who he says he is, and then they're gonna leave. It's the same concept in both scenarios. And this is how it all relates to people falling back on familiar patterns that they already know. And that's why you have to practice every single day to become the person that you really wanna become. It won't just happen to you. And by practicing this, you're slowly but surely changing your lifestyle patterns, and subconsciously, you're changing the person that you are, and your mind is gonna start believing what you actually practice. So analyze what you're doing on a day-to-day basis currently, and analyze what the people are doing around you as well, the people that are close to you. And if either you yourself or the people around you don't align with where you want to be at in the future, you have to understand that there needs to be a change made immediately. You need to find an example of somebody you want to be like, and you have to follow what they do every single day. You have to really start believing that you are that person that you want to become, and that's the only way you're ever going to reach those goals. Which is a good transition into the next mindset structure, which is belief. And this is a tough concept because your brain is constantly looking for evidence to match up with your beliefs. And reality is that most people just don't have the lifestyle that they want, and therefore the people around them don't have it either. They're not really seeing anything that's going to give them any hope or any belief to strive toward their goals. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people that can put you on the right track, or go ahead and learn from a mentor, learn from a coach, and then practice exactly what they practice. Do the things that they did and follow the blueprint that they laid out for you. And most people just don't have the desire to win because they've never seen anybody around them in their close circle that's won anything themselves. And they feel like it's not possible. It can never happen to them. Success is so far off from that position that they're in that they end up just giving up too quickly. And what I think it really is that there's no light at the end of the tunnel for these people. And in order to reach your goals, you have to live it out, and it does take time. It takes repetition, and it's not something that's going to happen overnight. And the thing is, during the journey, most people, since they've got no recollection of what success actually looks like, they do end up giving up too early because they don't see the end product of where they could be heading. So the best thing you can really do in this situation is you have to find a metric for success that you can actually follow. Because I know most people don't really have anybody around them that they can analyze on a personal level, but that's why we have the internet. You have mentors, coaches, YouTube, free education everywhere, and people and examples that can show you what success actually looks like. They can lay out that blueprint for you, and all you have to do is follow that. It's as simple as doing that. So you need to take advantage of your resources and the technology that you have at hand. The third and final mindset structure is conditioning. And I always talk about motivation versus consistency, because it's so easy for a person to get motivated for a short period of time, but that's what it is. It's just motivation. It's temporary. Consistency and conditioning is an actual lifestyle, and it's something that you do every single day. It's something that makes you the person that you are. The best example of why you're destined to fail if you don't have a good conditioning is look at New Year's resolutions. Look at how many people, they first go to the gym like the first couple weeks and they're like, hey, I'm gonna change my lifestyle. They go hard for a little bit and then they fall off within the first month. And why is that? It's because of conditioning. Like, it's easy to say what you're gonna do, but it's not easy to actually do it. And that's where most people fail. You have to outperform your standards. And the only way you're gonna do that, the only way you're gonna perform is by having a winner's mindset, which most people just simply don't have. And that's why you have to find a way to separate yourself from the majority of people and be different, or else you'll be like everybody else. And the way you do this is by simply doing the same routines every day, visualizing your results and visualizing success. And understand that your path needs to take time, and it's gonna take repetition. Like, repeating these steps every single day is really the key to positioning yourself where you wanna be at in life. You have to set standards for yourself, and you need to stay away from anything that's detracting you from these goals. Even if it's your family, even if it's your friends, they're not aligning with your standards, you got to distance yourself from them. And I know that's going to be a hard thing for people to do, but you have to understand that they'll understand in the end. And the best example of conditioning that I can leave you with here is, you don't become an expert by reading a specific book one time. You become an expert at reading that book multiple times, studying it, and then understanding it. So what I advise you to do when you go away from this video is to practice implementing this information into your own lifestyle, change your own identity, change your beliefs, and start conditioning yourself to be that person that you want to be. And at some point in time, you're guaranteed to reach your destination. So if you found this information in this video useful, show some love by dropping a like. If there's any topics you want me to create a video centered around, drop them in the comments and I'll be sure to get to those requests at some point. But other than that, I will be back next time with more content.